And it says we're live.
And let me tell you, the hard part was getting the mule off of the elevator.
No duh. It lies, by the way.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm required to say that now.
Well, the giant dildo launched this morning.
Giant rubber wallet.
With a fully civilian crew.
Yes.
You know, somebody at NASA
For
has got to
birds of civilians.
somebody at NASA's going to be banging their heads on the desk right now.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see what the new NASA director's mission statement
No,
from
God.
yesterday?
Yes.
No.
They made a special mention of returning to the moon to include getting the first woman on the moon, the first person of color on the moon.
I'm to the point that, CRT is nothing more than weaponized diversity.
It is. I mean,
I just want to get Americans back on the moon. I don't give a damn what color they are.
No.
I don't give a damn which bathroom they use.
No.
I just want to get Americans back on the moon.
Well, plus there's already a person of color up on the moon. Well, he didn't come back. I mean, the Chinese shot him up there. He didn't get back.
What?
What?
One of their supposed the conspiracy theory is that one of their supposed remote missions,
Yeah, right.
remote rover missions, was actually live, and that guy he didn't come back.
That's a conspiracy theory. Yes,
How many-
Sanford, we're all just racist.
How many conspiracy theories have come out to be true?
Apparently, I'm white, so
Yeah.
I'm racist.
No.
And
You're
John says
soulless.
that has always been a rumor. Never been proven as fact.
Right.
Anyway,
Ian's not racist. He's just soulless because he's a redhead.
what I found interesting in the coverage this morning, they were talking about the 82-year-old woman that went up and how she was not allowed to be an astronaut because of her gender, which was not true.
Who said that?
NBC commentator.
Of course.
She's not allowed to be an astronaut because she's a woman.
Yeah, because she was one of the original Apollo 13 qualifiers.
Okay.
But she was not allowed to be an astronaut because she was female, according to the commentator.
Couldn't be any other reason.
No.
There
It
was
had to be the fact that she.
an entire
Tittle
class
sitting
of
down.
women in the early 60s that they were prepping for astronaut status. It didn't happen, but there was an entire class of them. Amy Shira Title, I think, did a book on it.
Yeah.
About the women in the space program. And she focused on two. One was pretty much a maverick, but they were in the space program.
Yeah.
Two of my AOCS classmates, female, became astronauts.
How was?
Are you sure?
I don't see the
Yes.
connection. Was it they weren't allowed to be in the Apollo program that they weren't, or that because they're female, even though they've been in outer space, they're still not astronauts because they're female?
Who knows? Who knows?
No. Wendy Lawrence became an astronaut, shuttle pilot. Kay Heyer became a mission specialist. She was an NFO.
The only difference between not astronaut and astronaut is you've crossed that dividing line that they've set. So there were guys in the X-15 program
That technically were astronauts.
that, yes, technically were astronauts. There were guys. It just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanford says we should go look and put the rumor to rest either way. Yeah. Sooner or later they will.
Oh,
We'll get up there.
Elon Musk on the way back home,
Yeah.
on his way back to his home planet, will probably stop off to check.
Yeah.
They'll get up there and there'll be a grave.
Yeah.
And there'll be a headstone and it'll be in Russian. Here lies Ying Ying.
Yeah. Yeah. Raptor makes a good point. With one exception, every single time NASA has tried a publicity stunt, people have died. And that sole exception was John Glenn, because he was one of the original astronauts. So there was actually a valid reason to launch his ass at 77. on the space shuttle to see what the differences were between him when he first went up and when he went up at age 77.
Yeah. I just find it interesting that the vision problems that are cropping up now in
Oh yeah.
the long-term space, when guys are up there for more than 100 days.
Yeah.
Joel says, stop saying conspiracy theory. The correct term is spoiler warning.
He's right though, because how many have come out to be true in the end?
No,
Not that many.
politically, yes. Otherwise, space, no. Well, in other news,
Yes.
the guys at Black Rifle Coffee Company pulled one of the classic blunders.
Oh, yeah.
Again?
They trusted the New York Times to be objective.
Oh, yes.
What did the New York Times say about it?
Oh man, the Evan Hafer and Matt Bess guardedly, admittedly, gave a interview to the New York Times,
Yeah.
and I fell for this. God, I'm stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
And New York Times took every quote they could find, misattributed, put it in the wrong places, and the thrust of the article was that the Black Rifle didn't want conservatives buying their coffee. And the social media exploded. And I have to admit, I fell for it first. And I'm sitting there going, wait, if the New York Times told me the sun was coming up in the east tomorrow, I'd double check. Why the hell am I believing it now?
I have two compasses and a third one in my pocket. Yeah.
Why the hell am I believing it now? And I deleted everything I said. And Quiet Ian was right.
Yeah.
Because they did a interview with Dana Loesch, I think today.
Yeah.
And said, guys, that's not what we said.
Yeah.
And the New York Times lies by default. Period.
Well, they probably took an answer from one question and attributed it to
That's
another.
exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did.
Is something that the fact checkers on articles are supposed to catch before they go to print.
The fact checkers love doing that.
Yeah. They will do that on purpose. Raptor says they probably filming those hysterically entertaining commercials. Yeah, that too.
It's just,
Well, also, Guest was an Army Ranger, and Hafer was Special Forces.
Yeah.
They ain't right in the head to begin with.
No.
based on some of the videos they put up on YouTube, don't they?
No.
Yeah, John made an excellent point. Whenever you're being interviewed, you record it yourself. Yeah.
No, these days, just don't
be interviewed.
Don't be interviewed.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
No, who was it? Ruben did an interview with.
Rufo.
No, it was Dave Rubin. I think he did an interview with CNN, MSNBC here, and towards the end of the interview, he said, "Oh, by the way, I've been recording it as well." And they were like, "Oh, we don't need to do the interview."
Yeah.
Well.
Oh yeah.
If it's not somebody,
so he released it.
if it's not somebody like what's his name's moved to Texas, the fight Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Who does fantastic interviews, by the way, and he shows the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's actually a really good interviewer.
Yeah.
Rita got me addicted to watching some of his stuff, and he's actually a really good interviewer. If there's not some folks don't do interviews, guys.
Yeah.
That was the rule back when I was a cop, and it's even more the rule now. If you're a conservative, please God, don't ever do an interview because it's going to be twisted.
Yeah.
And they'll be proud of it.
Yeah. Oh well, all right. Enough of that crap.
It's not Doritos.
In other news, which is sadly funny, Philadelphia's Grand Green Initiative of 24 point something million worth of
Electric buses.
battery powered buses,
which they were told
bought in 2016 under political pressure, have now all been taken off the street because
The ones who left, they're supposed to last 50 years, right?
Yeah. Because they were A, breaking the frames, B, they were supposed to have a 100-mile range, which is kind of short for a bus route.
Whatever.
C, they might make 32 to 40 miles. D, there was only one charging station in Philadelphia, and that was in the bus yard. So, major issues there.
Had nothing to do with the 3 tons of batteries that were required to move it halfway.
Oh, no, not at all. And if you've ever been to Philadelphia, those streets are not smooth. Those streets date to the 1700s in some cases.
Did the rubber Wally take off from Texas again?
Yes.
So Texas is becoming the leading spaceport.
Yep.
Because Elon Musk is flying out
Boca
Texas,
Chica, yeah.
and Bezos and the flying rubber Wally are flying out of Texas.
That's because the southern part of Florida, which is arguably farther south than Texas, is taken up by NASA.
I just love the fact that they're flying out of Texas.
Yeah. Now they've launched SpaceX both from Wallops and from the Cape.
Yeah, but the Air Force and NASA take the bulk of the launch windows out of Florida.
Yeah.
This is why France's spaceport is in French Guiana.
That was Ecuador.
Or well, it's one of the islands off the coast there.
Okay.
But you want to get as close to the equator as you can to get the most boost from the spin velocity.
Yeah.
Your angular momentum.
Yeah, Raptor makes a good point. He says, it's SEPTA. They haven't successfully rolled out a single piece of new equipment in his lifetime.
Oh, in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Fixing to say the rubber Wally is kind of new.
Yeah, one of the comments on my blog this morning was a reader from Wisconsin who said, I think it was Madison, Wisconsin, went out and bought an electric fire truck that had a range of 30 miles. But it had its own generator mounted on it to start with. Now,
I was going to say
anybody that's ever done volunteer fire rescue or fire rescue period knows that you have these things called mutual aids.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Which may entail driving a distance to get to the fire.
It usually does.
Yes. And fires tend to last a lot longer than people think.
So I found the pepper you put in that jambalaya. It was the second to last bite.
Gotcha.
Wow. So let me get this straight. It's got a 30-mile range, but it's got to be able to run the pump once it gets there, because the fire hydrant provides some pressure, but you still want the pump.
Oh, you got to have pump, yeah.
You got to boost it.
So say your area is 30 miles for your fire department. You have your electric there, and you barely coast in.
Yeah.
At Farmer Brown's barn. Yeah, what are you going to do at that point?
Start the generator.
No, you're gonna go over to Farmer Brown's F-250, plug it into his power takeoff, and away you go.
Well, the interesting thing is, when I was on the volunteer fire department, half the time, we were running 8-inch lines out of pools and kettle tanks.
Yep.
And that takes, you got all the water.
Yep. P250s. Raptor says, look up Railworks. Textbook definition of a cluster. Yes.
I think the only electric public transit system that has ever worked has been
the electric trolleys.
The San Francisco trolley system.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to see ugly power lines running down the middle of every street.
Yeah. Well, and every time they sparked when the tram was going under, but it started with little ladies.
Yeah.
Really, because I thought that was cool.
I did too. But Karen and her porch chihuahua
decided to be outrageous.
It scared me.
Yeah.
No, it's scaring that little old lady across the street who has never said anything about it. But I've decided to be enraged for her.
Yeah.
I'm enraged on her behalf. Nobody asked you.
Yeah. Speaking of enraged.
Why are you looking at me?
The latest pronouncements, and I use the term loosely,
dun, dun, dun.
From the CDC and Fauci.
God.
Yeah. My question is to Facebook, whatever you want to call it, Book of Face. Are they going to go back and take the lies that he's admitted to?
Oh, or
No. He in Congress yesterday and said he has never lied to Congress.
Oh,
whatever.
Right.
It's
There's who's he butts heads with all the time? Not
Rand Paul.
Yeah, Rand Paul.
Who's
Rand
that
Paul
about?
asked him,
who's actually
in light of what you said recently, do you want to take back anything you said to Congress? Because I've never lied to Congress.
bullshit.
And I'm like, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Well,
I'm surprised the fire department.
Jen Nochi or whatever the hell her name is, the
Saki.
Jen Psaki, whatever the hell her name is, the mouthpiece, the mouth of Biden, so to speak,
Who gets paid $190,000 a year.
to stonewall
So
and
yeah.
circle back to things. Now somebody did a collection of the stuff that she said about the can't trust a Trump vaccine, and I'll never take a Trump vaccine. You're gonna pull what's her nuts?
Harris is in the same boat though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is
Because-
Biden.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, they all during the campaign decided that we can't have Trump have a win.
Yep.
Can't give Trump a win.
So they said, well, we don't trust the vaccines that are coming out, and now they're stuck trying to make everybody get these vaccines that they said they didn't trust.
What the hell pepper did you put in that jambalaya?
Huh?
What the hell pepper did you put in that jambalaya?
Black pepper,
My secret.
racist pepper.
Because there was a seed stuck between two teeth. I should have left it there. Wow.
There might have been one jalapeno that jumped in there.
Fresh ground pepper.
No, that wasn't ground. That was a solid seed.
Well, you know
No,
what-
Raptor, what did Ben and Jerry's do this time?
Oh, they have decided they're pulling their ice cream out of occupied Palestinian territory. And the Israelis went, okay.
Okay, so they were talking about Israel.
Yeah.
Occupied Palestinian territory.
The Israelis went,
Since Palestine does not exist,
Doesn't exist as a people.
nope,
It's not a tribe.
nope.
It's not a political. Well, it is a political. division.
it's a historical.
It's not even historical.
Okay, something I'm going there. I was going on that. Palestine, if you want to go back to history and call this area Palestine based on in past history, it was called Palestine. I get to call South Central Africa Rhodesia because
Yeah.
in prior history it was named that.
Well, yeah, but wasn't the area called Palestine a Roman subdivision? A Roman.
Something like
It was Judea. It was Roman Judea.
Right. Yeah, but they called it Palestine for administration purposes.
No.
There was a. What did they call those Roman governors?
Consuls? No.
Yeah, the ones that were in charge of the region.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called it Palestine for him so he knew where his boundaries were. But it wasn't. It was never an entity in and of itself.
It's just a spot on a map.
Yeah. John says Ben and Jerry don't even own it anymore. Yeah, they were smart enough to sell out while they could. And Jesse says, free mainland Taiwan.
Really? I thought Ben and Jerry were Jewish.
Probably.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, look at. I mean, the Jewish folks in America make up a solid Democratic voting bloc,
Which
There-
makes no freaking
there-
sense.
which makes
there
no
is-
sense.
There is a block of Jews in this country that are self-hating. Yes.
Yeah, apparently most of them.
I don't know about most of them, but there's a block.
Apparently
That's
there's
about
a
like
bloc that
Catholics.
there's a bloc that loves gun control.
Yeah.
There's a bloc that votes consistently and rabidly for the party that wants to get rid of Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also the
I look at them and I go,
what is it? What is it? Jews for firearms? What is it?
Jews-
JFPO.
JPFO,
yeah, I
Jews
mean-
for Prevention of Firearms Ownership,
Yes. So, I mean,
which has never been a big organization.
Yeah, and Nancy says, Ben and Jerry's, the original virtue signaling business.
Oh,
Yes.
no kidding,
okay,
right?
because didn't they come out with a woke flavor a few years ago?
Oh,
Yeah.
they've had woke flavors all up and down.
And Raptor makes a good point. Ben and Jerry were avowed communist.
Okay.
Also, we're in Texas. We have Bluebell. I've never tried Ben and Jerry's. I'm pretty sure Ben and Jerry's does not stack up to Bluebell ice cream.
You know what? I still prefer Tillamook over Bluebell. And you
Joe,
can shoot me if you want.
Joey has the answer. Rome started using the term Palestine after the Judean revolt to pretend the Jews didn't belong there.
Oh,
That was
okay.
it. Thank you, Joel.
There we go. I knew it was something weird. Yeah.
But we've got Bluebell, so
Yeah.
I'm willing to
Tillamook.
bet,
I like
or
Tillamook.
Tillamook. I'm willing to bet Ben and Jerry's is not even in the top 5 ice cream sold in Texas.
Probably not.
I used to die for Ben and Jerry's Chunky Monkey, which
You would.
was banana flavored ice cream with monkey chunky stuff, bananas and other.
Joel has the rest of the story.
Uh-oh.
They've been pushing for years, but the Israeli Ben and Jerry's franchisee refused to stop selling it in Judea and Samaria. So now they won't even give them the franchise back.
His franchise contract ran out?
Yeah. Right.
Call Bluebell, you'll get better ice cream.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Tillamook. Tillamook's good too.
Yeah. Briar's used to be good until they sold out, and they suck now.
Tillamook's got a better mouth, feels creamier.
Not
Bluebell.
You gotta be careful when you make ice cream, you don't crystallize it.
Sometimes the crystallized part's the best part. Sometimes.
Steph has heard from. Love Blue Bunny, but dark chocolate is amazing.
Blue Bunny is not Bluebell. There's a difference.
Oh, by the
Blue
way.
Bunny is a knockoff.
By the way,
Yes.
7.
I was swearing a long time for 17 minutes.
No, it's food.
Oh,
The food clock went off.
No, the food clock went off when he started complaining about my.
Oh
Not
yeah.
complaining, just making an observation. Damn.
Yeah, Raptor's going. I'm in PA. We don't have Bluebell up here. I'm sorry, Raptor.
I'm sorry.
No, remember when they pulled Bluebell off the shelves?
Yes, for a good reason.
Yeah,
Damn.
Listeria. Yeah.
Yeah, Listeria for a good reason, but
Yeah.
damn.
People were crying, literally crying.
Yes.
Well, when they sanitized everything and got the Bluebell back online, it was a lot like the ammo thing.
Yeah.
The store employees would wheel out a pallet of Bluebell and then run.
Yeah, people would grab the pallet.
Yes. Speaking of people that need to be sanitized, obviously the Democrats out of Texas need to be sanitized.
They're still in DC, right?
See,
I think they're scared to come back.
Do you know what gets me? They're staying in hotels, right? Here and out in DC, right? They're not staying in Motel 6s.
Oh no,
No. They're staying in hotels that have laundry service.
they're staying in Washington Plaza, which I'm gonna guarantee you has laundry service.
Yet they're snapping pictures of them hanging their undergarments on a clothesline in the bathroom because all the hardships that we're putting up with because we fled the state.
Some poor intern that they put out said, "Give me your underwear for this photo shoot." It's his hardships.
Yeah.
So
I really think they're scared to come back.
well, yeah, he's going to arrest them and then throw them into the house.
Well, what I find funny is the whole thing of them flying up there maskless on the airplane.
Oh yeah.
And
With booze,
Yeah.
which requires an ID to buy.
yes.
Oh no. The other thing is they carried the booze onto the plane.
Yeah.
Right, which is a violation of a federal reg for 135 operators. They can bring booze, but they have to hand it to the flight crew. Then the flight crew can bring it on board. That's a loophole around it.
Yeah.
But
They carry it on board.
if they carry it on board themselves, they're breaking a reg.
Yeah.
What's the punishment
So
for breaking
they
this
weren't
reg?
masked. They were breaking a reg right there.
There's the FARs don't have a mask reg yet. These are regs that are in the federal aviation regulations.
No, but the FAA and TSA say you must be masked to fly on the airplane.
Right, but that's not a reg
Yet.
Oh,
it will be. Have you seen the stupidity that they're coming out with? Oh, we're looking at masking up for 3 months during the height of the flu season because it's done so well. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It's done so well for the flu season because they didn't report any flu cases.
Yeah,
they are all COVID.
All COVID.
Yeah, and as Sanford says, more than an ounce of liquid TSA problem. Actually, it's 3.5 ounces.
Yes.
But yes, technically they were also in violation by bringing that much liquid through TSA.
I would have loved.
No, on a 135 charter.
You don't go through TSA.
Well, the question is that we've never determined whether that was a 135 charter or not.
Well, and if it's a charter, it has to be. It was
We
121
don't
is scheduled
know if it's-
operations.
we don't know if it's scheduled or not.
So
Nobody's let us know.
If they bought out an entire flight that ran.
That was an RJ.
Yeah, well, they're there are RJs that are out there for charter.
It could have been either one.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just
we just don't know which.
if they're running under 135 regs, and TSA has mandated even on 135 operators bass, and they're in violation of that. If they carry the alcohol on board, they're in violation of that.
Yeah.
If it's just there's so many things wrong.
Well, and as Joel says, what's the punishment for violating the rule? For Democrats, no.
And if
Apparently not.
had
Although I would,
Abbott issued bench warrants for them yet?
No.
Okay, then
They were not issued until after he left.
I think they have been issued though.
They have been issued now, yes.
I will help fund a couple of Rangers airline tickets to DC.
Well, the problem is technically the Rangers do not have jurisdiction in DC. And you know damn well Metro Police Department will not give them jurisdiction.
Oh.
And they will not
I have
assist them.
seen this. I have seen this with my own eyes. A ranger in full ranger regalia getting off a plane somewhere and have the locals go, "It's a ranger."
Yeah.
If two rangers show up in their starch whites and their brown jeans and their silverberry hats and their 1911s, the Metro PD will get out of their way.
Yeah.
Rangers scare people.
Yep.
It's great.
Good.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, the other thing is talking about Texas. Abbott said this morning that they are arresting people and now putting them in prison, in jail, because they did get the prison emptied out.
So who are we? What?
They emptied the prison down there.
Immigrants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant just people in jail.
So they are being arrested by Texas, Florida, Georgia, and Idaho police and booked into jail. So DHS and CBP are not getting their hands on them.
So somebody needs to broadcast the fact that now that they have a felony record, they become ineligible for any kind of Dreamer Act.
That's exactly why they're doing it.
And you need to let them know that, and that will
Well,
it's like shutting off a spigot.
Well, that's another thing, is when you are booked in a Texas jail that operates under TCJS standards, Texas Commission of Jail Standards, they take a biometric quality picture of you.
Yes.
And it goes on to TCIC, Texas Criminal Information Computer.
Yep.
So anybody can go, click. Oh, Julio, you've got a criminal record.
You can't be a U.S. citizen ever.
Yep, after they are booking the illegals that come across, including apparently 500 Haitians who showed up yesterday.
Bloody hell.
That's a boat trip.
Yeah, that was
Haiti
a hell.
to Mexico.
That was a hell of a paddle.
Yeah.
So the Hawaii 5-0 thing.
The problem is that the prison only holds 1,000 inmates, so they're going to have to move people out of another prison down there.
Well,
which, by the way, none of those prisons in South Texas are air conditioned.
No.
ICE has been building new detention facilities all over the state.
Well, the interesting thing is,
I helped build one in Alameda.
Earlier,
yeah,
they were earlier.
So
that was
not during the Trump
that
era.
was a contracted. site.
During the Trump era.
No, it had the offices were ICE offices, and
they're still contracted.
they had
it was contracted.
Yeah, all ICE facilities in Texas are contracted.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is if it's a felony, and district judges are elected who sit over felonies, they can have a dedicated district judge, and all he does is name, how do you want to plead, and have a dedicated assistant DA taking the plea right there.
Guilty, next. Guilty, next. Guilty, next.
Guilty.
And then Title 42 doesn't come into it.
Guilty. I sentence you to 2 years state jail, suspended, get out.
Yeah.
And they throw them onto a bus, take them over, throw them across the river, and they're toast. They're done. That's it for them ever coming back.
No, they'll just cross in California, because California doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. But they come back to Texas.
California cares. They just care that they vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Come back to Texas. Click. Your name isn't Juan, it's Julio.
Yeah.
And you've got a record. Get in the back.
Yeah. Yes.
You're sitting next to Jesus.
Jesus loves you is a fantastic sentiment unless you're in jail.
Yeah. And Jesus is 6'4" and 250 pounds.
Of tattoo and attitude.
Yes. And he will make you his boy.
But yeah, it's just so all Abbott is doing is basically he keeps calling special sessions.
Which he can do. He's allowed to do
He can keep calling them
until he gets tired.
Yeah.
He's not going to get tired because
Yeah.
he never has to stand up. Ooh, I went there. And
He can keep calling them until the next session.
Yeah.
Which is in 2 years.
right.
So he's got 2 years to call special sessions.
Yeah. So can you
The
imagine
interesting part, though, is that these are state House Democrats that left.
Mhm.
The Texas Senate Democrats didn't leave.
They got smart.
So they've been working and passing bills on the Senate side,
Yeah.
including a voting act.
Oh, the Texas. Well, yeah. They have to. Don't they have to reconcile it with the House version?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they've already passed it.
Well, it's just that he can keep calling special sessions until they come back, and then he can throw them in jail.
Well, no, he can keep calling special sessions until the next regular session. And even if they haven't come back,
Can you imagine them on the run for 2 solid years?
well,
They
that's
can't
the thing.
afford to.
That's the thing is the statute of limitations on that. I think they got like 10 years to serve that.
Yeah.
So you get to stay somewhere else outside the state for
Yeah, that'll
10
do.
years.
That'll do great things for their reelection.
Constituents.
Yeah, their reelection chances.
And Joel asked a good question. How long living out of the state before they lose residency?
Well,
6 months?
60 days
If
once
they
you
buy a
permanently-
house,
Yeah, if you
no, it doesn't matter. No, it
you
doesn't.
have to permanently change it.
Yeah,
Once it's 60 days after you permanently change, you're considered permanently a resident. 6 days after that, you're done.
Raptor goes, Luther, Zoran, 2024, most SoCal sink again.
I've seen 3 Trump 2024 flags now.
Yeah.
in the area.
No kidding.
And they've apparently just indicted another former Trump advisor for foreign lobbying charges.
Yeah, whatever.
Before or after Trump's administration?
Doesn't matter. It's
They
I don't believe them.
No, I mean,
they are so fixated on Trump. He has been out of office now for 7 months, and the media cannot let him go.
Well, if they do, they're going to have to. They're going to have to focus on what the House Plant in Chief is doing.
yeah,
But have you heard the latest resolution by the House Democrats? The House Democrats have decided. Well, the Constitution says that the House may name the Speaker. Now, traditionally, this has been unwritten, but traditionally from their number.
Yeah.
Somebody in the House Democrats decided it meant you could name anybody, and panicked that the Republicans would name Trump once they take the House in 2022. They would name Trump to be their Speaker, even though he wasn't a member of the House. So they're passing a resolution that says you can only be a Speaker of the House if you're an elected representative.
What?
Yeah, that's the latest stupidity idiocy coming out of the House.
it's because they're lawyers.
No, it's because he's the boogeyman.
Yeah, I know.
He is living rent free in so many Democratic heads.
Yeah.
It is just amazing.
The Speaker is ensconced in the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it says that the House of Representatives shall name the Speaker. It doesn't say she'll name a Speaker from the ranks, but it's always been taken in the last 260 something years,
Yeah.
40 something years, to mean from among their ranks.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
And they've decided, oh my God, Trump the Republicans, when they take the House, might name Trump to be Speaker.
we got to remember there weren't any parties when they wrote the Constitution.
Yeah.
So the Speaker of the House could be anybody they wanted to name.
It's like now they're inventing reasons to panic.
Raptor. Steph goes, ratings are crashing. That's why they have to have Trump.
Yes.
And Raptor goes, I have no problem with that. It means Hildebeest can't become Speaker.
Yeah.
Because you know they tried. Yeah, they would.
Mm-hmm.
But why? When he's got the money to, and let's face it, this sounds terrible. He's got the money to buy a congressional seat in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got the money to buy a congressional seat in New York.
Well, he lives in Florida,
He's now a resident of Florida.
so he can buy and he can buy a seat.
Okay, here's a question. Technically, through companies, he owns Trump Tower in New York.
Yeah.
So he has a residence in New York.
It's not his place of residence.
He has a residence, but not his place of residence.
Okay, okay, that's the
There is
distinction.
a difference.
So he, but I hate to say this, but it's a fact. He's got enough money to buy a house seat in Florida. It's just straight up.
That's how Florida works.
That's how Florida works. He can be the Representative Trump from Florida.
Yeah.
In 2022.
Yeah.
And he can make. And that way he can still make Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
And they damn sure can't stop him.
Yeah. Aha, Joel found the answer. Thank you, Joel.
What was it?
A, officers in context strongly implies from amongst the members. B, and Republicans can't change a rule, right?
Ask the Democrats who are freaking out and passing an emergency resolution that only House members can become the Speaker.
So they're passing a resolution that alters the Constitution.
No, they are passing a resolution that has absolutely no impact on anything.
The only thing it does is they're allowed, the House Representatives and the Senate are allowed to set rules
Right.
that govern
But if it's in the Constitution,
that says.
and they're trying to create a rule that changes what's in the Constitution.
Okay, this is nitpicking, but they're passing a rule that clarifies what's in the Constitution.
Okay, so that's how they're getting around.
Yeah. Doesn't matter anyway, it's a
But it
resolution.
only applies to this Congress.
It's a resolution.
So the next Congress could come in and change.
Oh, it's like okay, I understand. It's like the House rule on dueling.
Yeah.
It only applies to that current session.
Right.
Okay.
But again, if Trump wanted to be,
And they neglected to reinstate the House rule on dueling.
Yeah.
So anybody, all you Texan representatives that are listening in, you can challenge the Democrats to a duel on the front lawn.
if you don't do it, you ain't got a hair on your butt.
Yeah.
But if Trump wants to be Speaker,
I'll send them ammo.
if Trump wants to be Speaker, he's got an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
And that way, if in 2022 Trump becomes the freshman representative from Florida, and because you can name a freshman representative as Speaker, he becomes Speaker of the House, and then the ficus and Ms. Knee Pads get impeached, and the Speaker becomes the president. Can you just imagine the exploding heads everywhere?
Oh, okay.
That one Bimbette on MSNBC would just have blood would come out of her eye sockets. It would be great.
Oh, yes. Oh, sometimes I wonder about both of you guys.
So I don't wonder. I know. I posted on Facebook. I posted a thing about if my NSA agent isn't undergoing therapy, I'm ashamed of myself.
No, mine cries every time I come look at my webcam.
Yeah, mine's in a bar drunk.
Please no. Don't make me do it again.
Don't make me do it. And somebody said, how does it feel to be the reason that your NSA agent ugly cries in the shower when the shift is over? It's kind of flattering, actually.
Well, it was an interesting weekend around here. We
No
had
kidding.
multiple guests.
It was a very, very socially busy weekend.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that he would take that position at the embassy and not get a button.
What? Oh, okay.
Sarah and her husband and kids came up and joined
Sorry
us.
I didn't spend more time with you, but I got really, really socially overloaded real quick.
So we actually got to meet Sarah and her family.
Yes.
Very nice family.
kids.
Good folks. And then we had the Pascos have been in town the last 2 days.
And I had just come off and she went right back up.
Yeah.
I guess the getting back in time to take the test was a little tight because I got stuck behind a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Texas. That's going.
Got stuck behind a funeral, had a trailer full of guns.
Now, for people who don't realize this, this is Texas. So funeral processions could go for 50, 60 miles
Yes.
between the funeral home and the cemetery.
Well, that's especially in a small town. Local PD or SO will be providing escort.
Yes.
And my first sheriff, if you broke into a funeral procession,
Oh,
he called me one time. Go get him. I'm directing traffic. Get him, okay? And I asked him later. Said, "The hell, boss? Why?" He said, "He broke into a funeral procession."
yeah.
I'm going, "Yeah, and he broke into a funeral procession." Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Texas, Louisiana,
The South.
the South in general, people will literally pull off the road.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And most of them, a lot of, especially in rural, you'll see them get out of their
Yeah.
trucks or off their combines.
Yeah.
And hat over.
Yep.
It's really kind of touching.
I don't see them getting off the combine as much as standing on top of the combine.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah.
Well, considering how big some of those combines are, it took them 5 minutes to get off of it.
Yeah.
Down the ladder, go back, down the next ladder, go back, down the third ladder.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
considering that they're computer controlled with GPS, sat link,
Air conditioning,
air conditioning,
Cable.
Sirius radio.
Cable
5G,
TV.
5G, and I've got some bimbo whose only apparent qualifications to be vice president are her oral technique and a $90,000 pair of knee pads, telling me they can't find a Kinko's.
It's just he intends to keep things bottled up, and he's going to give himself an ulcer.
That still just flies all over
He
me.
needs to let things. He needs to vocalize his stress more.
You've got some barista in Manhattan who can't figure out which end of a car goes which way, is apparently cutting edge in technology, but a farmer in charge of $250,000 of high-tech computer-driven equipment can't find a Kinko's.
Well, that's
Just
actually
tell us how you really feel.
Stupid whore.
that's not even that's the little bitty tractor.
Oh, I
That's not
know.
even the
I know.
I just
Can't find a
who
Kinko's.
was it who said that they watch a lot of Judge Judy when they're on the combine?
Oh, Farm Dad, Farm Mom?
Did
Yeah.
Farm
One of
Dad-
them?
I thought it was somebody else, but they
It
said
might have been Farm Mom that was
They-
watching Judge Judy on
yeah,
the condo.
they've got Sat TV.
Yeah.
So they're just watching Judge Judy on the
Because the damn thing apparently steers itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, John said most of these combines, the person running it doesn't even sit in the driver's seat. The displays are on the other side, and it drives itself. Yeah,
And most of them do.
that's what Farm Mom said. She said, "Yeah, sit up and watch TV and let it drive itself."
You just watch to make sure it doesn't run over some idiot.
Well, every now and again, if the hopper fills, you have to offload to the truck.
Yeah.
But
No, because I just
Yeah,
can't find a Kinko's.
yeah.
We should go back to-
Raptor is saying you need some serious recoil therapy, large caliber, belt fed, high cyclic rate recoil therapy.
No kidding.
yeah,
The only problem with that is we need ammo monkeys.
No
and a
kidding.
bank account to feed it.
Yeah, these days. Although
Yeah.
ammo has had a 14.9% price drop over the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I'm tracking that, but I'm
Yeah.
tracking ammo prices.
We've
Which is
got
good because-
access to a pretty good amount of tannerite and other toys.
Does that offset the rise in fuel prices and grocery
Hell
prices?
no. Hell no.
No, they're
Yeah.
talking about runaway and Democrat economists are talking about runaway inflation because the Fed will not stop printing money.
Yeah.
Because we have a
Because
$3 trillion
Because
budget.
back in the 70s, when we figured out, oh God, printing money uncontrollably doesn't work,
Yeah,
apparently we forgot that.
Well, it's not even the 70s.
Yeah.
The
Anybody remember
Weimar Republic,
stagflation?
the Weimar Republic, the whole barrel full of money to buy a loaf of bread. It's true.
yeah. Here we go.
The Turks, the Venezuelans now, who has the Bolivar? That's the Venezuelans.
Is Zimbabwe
The
government
Zimbabwe-
with their $1 trillion note?
Yeah.
They would periodically they would just lop zeros
Yeah.
off of their currency,
Hey, Bill.
and that
welcome.
doesn't work. And they figured it. I mean, we've got hundreds of years of trying everything and it not working.
And not working here we go again,
Well,
because
you-
you've got a bunch of idiots whose only claim to fame is the ability to sling some second grade poor quality coffee
Yeah.
or booze in a Manhattan bar that serves foo-foo stuff, thinking that they're God's gift to
It's really
Political,
He just bottles it up.
economics.
You got to tell people how you got to let your feelings out. You really do. Just express what you're feeling inside. Because
Who was it that said earlier on Facebook he wanted to hear me expound?
Yeah.
It would be great to hear you. Obviously, you don't listen to the podcast.
Yeah, you talk about the Weimar Republic. At one point in the late 1920s, people were actually burning money because it was cheaper to burn the money than it was to try to buy firewood.
Yes.
Jim knows this because he was taking notes.
Read between the lines.
What did I do to deserve this treatment?
Did you guys watch the interview about the hypersonic Russian missile?
No.
Yes.
No.
What I found extremely funny about that was the Fox talking head was going, "This is hypersonic and its technology will foil radars. We should be worried about this." And they had an old director of intelligence talking about it, and you watched him dance around answering the question.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's like, "So should we be worried about this?" He's like, "Well, I mean, this technology. I mean, we've got our own hypersonic technology." And you knew he wanted to say, "Oh yeah, we can stop this shit."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Steph says you're now sounding like Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Emperor One H.
Emperor?
Yeah.
Well, I did watch How to Be a Tyrant on Netflix. Although I haven't stayed in Holiday Inn Express.
I've got to get you the 10,000 Rules for Evil Overlords.
Oh, I've read it. Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think he copies from?
I'm remembering that somebody at this table, well, maybe two people at this table, actually got to look into a Russian missile silo, when everything crumbled, and went, "It's a really nasty swimming pool. What the hell?"
Yeah.
Have you looked into our silos?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a really nasty
And
swimming pool.
then the hypersonic torpedoes, the shipfalls.
Yep.
Not all that in a bag of chips.
Well, it was funny.
Sounds good on paper.
Well, they work well enough to sink the Kursk.
Yeah.
She was talking about, well, this combines the speed of a ballistic missile with the maneuverability of a cruise missile. I'm like,
No,
it doesn't. At
Hypersonic.
hypersonic speeds, you pull a corner like a cruise missile, and you will have a collection of parts.
Yeah.
In
flying
this
in-
formation. And expanding.
Yeah, and it won't have made the corner either.
Yeah, it's like, I remember we were terrified of the Russian ballistic missile threat, and it turns out it was Paper Tiger. We were terrified of the Shipful, the hypersonic torpedo, and it's really good at sinking Russian stuff unintentionally.
Yep.
My dad used to make the joke, when we were making the rockets out of bamboo and black powder in Africa, half of them would pinwheel down the street. He went, "Oh, it was Russian design."
Yeah.
I'm really not that worried about their hypersonic missile.
Have you ever seen the video of the Trident pinwheeling on takeoff?
No.
That one's good. You see this thing come out.
Speak of the devil, your TV's listening to us.
Yeah.
Kirby, Russia missiles pose significant risks to Russians.
Yeah. The problem is the Dems are going to put somebody in charge of intelligence in the DoD, and he's going to spill the.
There's been somebody in charge. There's been a Democrat in charge of intelligence DoD since at least the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
No. The Dems are traditionally.
That is not hypersonic.
No.
Well, no, that launches it, but they claim after launch it went hypersonic.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
They
claim a lot of things.
Traditionally, the Dems are shit at OPSEC.
Yeah.
No kidding, right?
Right. I mean, it took when Obama was elected, within 24 hours, FICUS had leaked his Secret Service name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Usually it takes at least 2 weeks.
they have no idea. They have no concept, and so
Well,
I'm sure that somebody's going to go in there and get briefed, and then he's going to go blab it to CNN.
did anybody, up to and including the chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff on the Democratic executive branch, does any of them actually have, honest to God, military experience?
No. Not that I can think
there
of.
are some that served, but they were Navy.
Biden?
No.
No.
I mean,
What's her name?
I'm thinking
What's her name?
I'm thinking in the House or the Senate.
I'm talking executive branch.
No.
And
Not
speaking
in senior
of,
positions.
that idiot general currently running JCS
Millie.
needs to be defrocked and kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
If not left in a room with one bullet and reminded of his honor.
Yeah.
That guy needs to shut his.
Yes.
How could they?
Wow.
How could anybody think that you didn't go on tirades?
Raptor, to answer your question about the hypersonic torpedo.
I was about to say something.
Uh,
Should be said mixed.
what
company.
actually happened, and I truly felt sorry for the sailors on the Kursk because
I feel sorry for anybody who burns to death.
they burned to death. But what happened was they went to fire it, and they got the firing impulse. And something like 110 milliseconds later, they got a second impulse, which was not a firing impulse. It was the missile, the torpedo exploding back into the Kursk. And the way we know that is thanks to Arizona State University's seismic recorder in Norway.
Got the whole thing on
Got the whole thing on tape.
the seismic.
And it's really interesting to look at because you can actually see it if you run it on the right kind of spectrum analyzer. You can see the initial firing pulse, and then 110 milliseconds later,
It detonated.
big, much
So
larger pulse.
It hadn't cleared the tube.
Nope, never cleared the tube.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, there was
Yeah. But how do they?
a suggestion that maybe the torpedo, the outer door didn't open all the way.
Well, that would make sense because
Apparently, the Kursk had had that issue.
if the outer door was open to sea, and the second impulse blows the torpedo, whatever you call that door, on the inner door, open, how would they have burned it if they're not just drowned?
Well, part of the
rocket
problem,
motor.
Yeah, but you're also flooding water at the same time.
Yeah, but rocket exhaust. The rocket, because the ship hull was a rocket propelled torpedo.
they
Yeah.
use similar to what we do, a pulse of air.
Right.
They open the outer doors, they flood the tube,
Yeah,
they confirm the tube's flooded down. They use a pulse of air to eject it,
right. And then everything starts firing.
and then everything's supposed to light off.
But if it hit a half open door, and then the jet, the rocket exhaust blows the back hatch, the torpedo hatch off, and fills the. I mean, yeah, there's water, but there's a shit ton of rocket exhaust.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah. That's
It's-
something we'll never know because they'll never tell us one way or the other.
No,
Yeah.
they don't know.
plus weren't all the inner hatches sealed anyways?
Yes, John, they do have, all torpedoes have a standoff device. It's a standoff range of X distance
Before arming.
before arming, which works real good until you get one that circles back on you, which has happened.
Well, and again, this one wasn't the torpedo arming and going off. This was the torpedo just blow torching the inside with the rocket exhaust.
Well, that's the best guess.
Yeah, that's a guess.
You know, I mean, acoustics, I did acoustics for a living, and there are things that you can see and learn.
So what's the speed of sound underwater?
It's
It's
a lot
about
faster.
1,580 feet per second.
Yeah, it's about double speed of sound in air, right?
A little over, I think.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that.
Yeah. So to get a hypersonic torpedo underwater in an incompressible fluid.
Well, they're technically the design, and
Yeah,
open literature said they were going to create a bubble shield.
Yeah. There was supposed to be a small rocket jet forward that was to produce a gas bubbles, and the torpedo would actually travel inside a bubble envelope.
Okay, so it's not traveling in water, it's traveling in air,
In air, underwater.
underwater, but it's still having to
Mm.
force its way through an incompressible
Yeah.
medium, water. I mean, I understand the concept because that's how we launch ballistic missiles. The missile never gets wet.
Right.
Right.
Yes, Brian, they were trying for a supercavitator. That's what they were trying to do.
On the shipful?
Yeah.
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 There was
However,
a whole
most
bunch
people
of
don't
things.
understand what supercavitator is, so that's why I didn't go there.
There was a whole bunch of things could have gone wrong, did.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Russian/Soviet technology is all about a bigger hammer. And when you bigger hammer
Although they've been adjusting.
slowly,
Yeah.
can be
I
taught.
mean, they're going to a 3-man crew on their main battle tanks with an auto loader. which kind of implies that they care more about the training that they're giving the men than the equipment.
Well, they're doing
Well, they're
the
getting
same
tired.
thing the Chinese are doing. The conscripts are no longer conscripted for a year, 18 months. They're conscripted for 3 to 5 years.
They're actually getting training now.
So they actually get training, yeah.
Because if I remember right, the autoloader on the Russian T-72
The early one,
early one was the auto arm ripper. Apparently, it was occasionally ripping people's arms off and shoving them in the
that's
breech
what
of the gun.
back then, for it to work, the gun had to return to a fixed position because they didn't have the sensors or the computer technology to adjust the loader for the gun position. But that's changed now that they've been able to buy our technology from China.
From China. China sold our second gen technology to them. Kept our third gen technology, it's our second gen technology.
Yeah, Sanford, you're right. This much would understand it, but it's.
No, I wouldn't.
No, it's just.
I deny that.
The funny thing was, I'm pretty sure we have technology that can defeat hypersonic missiles, hypersonic cruise missiles. But to watch the guy dance around that fact on the news was so fun to watch.
Like you said, I'm not sure we're going to need it because, we're going to make a hard 60-degree turn with a hypersonic. No, you're not.
Oh, the other thing was they announced that Russia debuted their 5th generation fighter at the most recent. Yeah, and the funny thing is, the 2 airplanes they showed in the shot while they were talking about the 5th generation fighter were the Aleutian regional jets.
Oh wow, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Brian, you're exactly right. Clinton's gave most of that technology to China.
Yeah, they didn't have to steal it. That just kind of sucked.
Yeah, but Clinton sold it to China because
no, he gave it to them.
He wanted them to sleep in the Lincoln room.
Yeah.
So to pay for them sleeping in the Lincoln room, he sold China the technology. It's just like I said, Dems are shit at OPSEC.
Yeah. Trust me, there have been more program compromises by CNN and the Dems than you would ever believe.
Oh, the fact that right after Hillary became sec state, she read herself in on every program she could.
Oh yeah.
When you
can't do that.
No, but she did.
No, you don't understand. You cannot do that. I don't care what people say. That does not get done. There has to be a higher authority directing for her to be read in.
They announced that she read herself in on every program she could. So they must have just said, here, take these. And it's just, she didn't have anything to do with any of these programs. Even if she was read in on one, she wasn't supposed to be. She had nothing to do with the programs because she's sec state.
Right. And Kratman was asked that question at LibertyCon. He said, actually, if she wants to do that, it's legal because she is the high authority on that. She can read herself in on.
No.
Just repeating what Kratman said.
It's just, I mean, really, half the Dems.
Maybe that's true for the Army, but I know it's not true for the Navy.
Half the Dems on the Intelligence Committee shouldn't have.
You're right.
Shouldn't have that secret clearances. They shouldn't have any kind of clearance.
Swalwell.
Swalwell is an actual
schmuck.
No, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a gigantic hole in our
no
security.
Yeah, he's a leak.
He's a leak.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to bet that the Chinese stuck another.
Oh yeah. Well, they probably borrowed a
walking, talking, giggling spy. Into his bed as soon as Fang or whatever the hell her name was.
Oh yeah, it's just
went feet wet.
Yeah. I mean, the second that came out, Swalwell should have been removed from the.
Yeah.
But he's the head of the committee.
No.
Not anymore.
Took him off head.
No, Schiff is the head of.
Oh, that's right. Schiff is the head. Well, Schiff's the other one that shouldn't have a.
Yeah.
But
Schiff was having press briefings in the skiff.
Yes.
Oh God.
He was
forgot about that.
No, he was walking out of the skiff and giving press briefings about what was clear, what was seen in the skiff. which
Jesus,
both of them should have gone to
on
prison
a
for that.
pogo stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and both of them should have gone to jail for it, not just gotten kicked out of their office.
Yeah.
They should have gone to jail for that.
The minimum, they should have been removed from their positions on the intelligence committee.
Exactly.
You are a moron. Get out.
Well, the thing was, at the same time, there was an E4 or E5 in the Navy.
Who
each
got
submarine.
cashiered for taking a picture in the wrong place.
Right. He
Right.
got cashiered for taking a cell phone picture of where he worked on a U.S. nuclear submarine.
Right. And it wasn't that he took a picture of classified stuff. It was that the picture contained some classified stuff in
Yeah.
it.
And they were going to send him to prison for that.
Yes. They were sending him like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. So they ended up giving him a BCD, kicked his ass out, which Trump actually later overturned, which I happen to agree with. But for the Navy to treat him like that, and then this crap with Swalwell and,
Mhm.
you know, whatever his name is.
You're,
And,
you're,
the other one is Feinstein.
if I'd have,
Her Chinese driver of
Yeah.
20 million years or whatever.
if I'd been caught banging a Chinese or Russian spy back when I was
Yeah.
taking money from the feds, they'd still be piping sunlight to me.
Mhm.
Who's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
What the?
Mhm.
How my butt? I'd be the socks would be in midair. My butt would have been away to Leavenworth where you twitched twice.
Yeah.
But here's Swalwell.
You know how we should run our security?
This ought to be good.
I was just thinking about this. We should have whatever administration is in office. Is Israel still talking to them about their planned strikes? If
That's
Israel
actually
stops
about-
talking
that's
to us
actually
about planned strikes, we know our administration is riddled with security leaks.
That's actually not a bad test.
Well, if the State Department exists, yeah. Anyway, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time.
Really?
An hour, 2 minutes, and not all of it on food or swearing either.
Although I almost said a military slang term for a mouth that I shouldn't have in mixed company. I almost did. Caught myself. I'm kind of proud of myself. Certainly dialed back the cussing.
And Raptor is on a roll today.
Uh-oh.
Says, Ian, you'd have escaped from a maximum security stockade into Los Angeles underground. Today, still be wanted by the government. You'd be surviving as a soldier of fortune.
I'll be in 10 years. Come get me, assholes.
The thing is,
All right, folks.
we wouldn't
Y'all have a good week. We'll be back on Thursday.
Be safe, guys.
Yeah, Brian, we're still buying Black Rifle coffee.
Yes.
The thing is,
I was briefly mad, then I realized that it's the New York slimes and they lie.
They got suckered on
as soon
that.
as you escaped, all they'd have to do is look for whoever was wearing Rhodesian shorts, and they'd arrest you again.
In 10 years. So good luck with that.
Oh, yeah, Raptor, I understand being bored at work. All right, folks, take care. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty
Be
stuff.
safe, guys.
We'll see.